Hello there. Welcome to this live chat session. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes. A roundup of the upcoming news stories. Firstly, Egypt. Egyptian president talked to Somalia's president a few days ago after the signing of MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland. Now, a top Egyptian delegation has visited Somalia. Delegation was in Mogadishu yesterday. Details for you. Secondly, Djibouti spoke today. First statement from Djibouti. We have been waiting for Djibouti's stance on Ethiopia's Somaliland MOU. Djibouti is a key player, by the way, though it's a small country, but in this issue, it's a key player. What did Djibouti say today? Thirdly, Hassan Sheikh spoke last night. I have a piece of his talk for you. And lastly, Eritrea. Hassan Sheikh is in Asmar. I did a video on that a few hours ago. We'll do analysis of Hassan Sheikh visit of Eritrea. Yes, LM, internet back, not thanks to military, but it's very uh, shameful that Pakistani establishment, Pakistani military shuts down internet and social media services to stop uh, a political party. So military has been behaving like this for years, decades in Pakistan. No true democracy here. Let me welcome the participants who joined this live chat. Klaus New, first one. Welcome, Klaus New, always first one. He's always the first one to comment in live chats. Samuel Faleke joined too. Samuel, welcome. Diani Labate, my friend, too. TE, Burji Siama, A, RBK. Don't ignore me today, Sajid. RBK says, I never ignore you. Your questions are always about an inquiry if I have eaten injera or not. Galmu joined too. Simon Tisfai says, what's up, Sajid? Kasate Salmon. Hi, Sajid. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Kasate. Welcome. Galmu, I am on time. Yeah, you are right on time, Galmu. Samuel Falaga, yes, internet is stored here. A says, our enemies are uniting against Ethiopia. I'll speak on that. Yamdos joined to TE. Gizahagan joined to Sajid. Why is Abi this much childish in his diplomacy? Gizahagan says. Yeah, we can analyze, by the way, what are Abi's moves, how mature are these moves, or how childish and ridiculous. Okay, I'll respond to it a little later. Alex Avake joined too. He says, my name is Alex Avoke. Maybe you were banned and now you have come with a new username. Welcome, Alex Avoke. Mike James, Satire WG says, welcome. Ethio War Mapper joined too. Nathan Adiso joined as well. J3456 says, does Ethiopia have any ally other than UAE and Sudan? Bright morning. Dear Sajid, would you tell us on behalf of whom you're working? I am working on behalf of myself. No one behind me. Behind me is just a wall. So I have a wall behind me. No one behind me. I think if you've been following me for years, by now you must be able to conclude that I am not backed by anyone. I don't worry about criticism. I don't worry about taking positions regarding building of analysis. I have no problem calling into question any group in Ethiopia, anybody in Ethiopia. David Said, never mind. Old Man Lost, Samuel Faleke, El Nij, Daniel Abate, Komsa, Adam Ahmed, all have joined. A warm welcome to all of you. One name is in Amharic. He says, I don't want to spy. I don't want to say more, but please collect one. Read more comments and give your suggestions. My advice for Sajid. Well, I read your comments, but sometimes comments are long and comments are repeated. Muni Muni joined too. Muni Muni, I did not block any of your comments. I don't block any comment. This is my policy from day one. I don't block people from commenting. But those people, those viewers who are seen as writing potentially offensive content are banned by YouTube artificial intelligence. I have no role in deleting, banning people's comments. If your comments were deleted, it was YouTube AI, and I have no say in that. Mark Vonchaso, why don't talk about your country? Leave alone Ethiopia. Some paying money, you money, get at the job. Why can't I cover Ethiopia? Why? Did I stop you from covering Pakistan? Do I defend Pakistan blindly? I don't need to. Abdi Karim Farah has joined. He's a new member, joined 2 days ago. Welcome, Abdi Karim Farah. I have no problems if anyone covers Pakistan. And it's not easy, by the way. I would suggest please start covering Pakistan. You'll see how difficult it is. I have become involved in covering Ethiopia because of the war, and gradually I have developed sources, team, etc. So you people help me cover Ethiopia. I am nothing without you. If you don't like my coverage, obviously you can start better coverage of Ethiopia. Let me see what you are covering about Ethiopia, and let people decide who is covering Ethiopia and Eritrea better. Gadisa Jirata says, you are Simon Tisfa says, you're free to speak, Sajid. Yes, everyone is free to speak here. What will Isasa Worki do? Kasat is asking. Read 12 comments and suggest your opinion, Sajid. My advice for you. Yeah, I am reading comments, but it is difficult to read comments and just respond to these comments because sometimes people just comment. They don't want answers. There is chit chat between people. So I have to create this balance that I share important news with you as well, analysis, and then your comments, your questions, and response. Now, can I start? I want to speak a little about Egypt. Nevermind says Sajid is better than most media and better understands big politicians I know. I just try to understand. I am a student. I learn. I change. I am flexible, I think. Old man last says, watching Sajid from Jijiga, Ogaden. Welcome, old man. Your region is going to be center of this conflict. If this conflict goes on, you people should be prepared, I think. Alex Avoca says, Sajid, it is clear that government cadre want to close your mouth, but the wide Ethiopian public want you. So please continue. Thank you. Elnich says, Sajid, are you supporter of Imran Khan or current military government? No one can support military, by the way. Military has no role in politics. If military does that, that is shameful. That should be condemned. And I am not supporter of Imran Khan. Imran Khan, through backing of military, ruled and to some extent came to power. He should have been careful. He made mistakes. He's suffering now. Having said that, I don't back military. I don't back military intervention in politics. Military should stop interfering. Military is destroying the country, I think. Uh, Muni says, Sajid, you disrespected the field marshal today. Well, if you call a field marshal a military chief, is it a disrespect? I didn't disrespect him. I just used, and by the way, he's also a military chief, not just a field marshal. I don't know why he was granted this title, Field Marshal, by the way. Just because he fought, just because he led the war on Tigray, which people say, people like Jawar and others from Ethiopia, they say that the war led to deaths of tens of thousands, and the war should not have happened. I don't know which role, by the way, he played in this war. If ENDF managed to push TDF away from Addis Ababa, do you think it was because of the leadership of Jula? Had there been no drones, had there been no Eritrean support, imagine what would have happened to Ethiopian National Defense Force. You saw how many ENDF soldiers were taken prisoner by Tigray fighters. I mean, still being taken prisoner in Oromia, in Amhara. You think that the man is capable and he should be addressed just as a field marshal, not as a general. I have to say that because you were saying that I was disrespectful. No, I was not disrespectful. I did not disrespect him. I have respect for Jula, but these titles are political titles. Abiy wanted him on his side. Abiy wanted his blind loyalty on his side. So that is why he was granted this title. Horn Analyst's first question says, comment. Hi, Sajid. Do you think Ethiopian PM miscalculated the impact of MOU signature with Somaliland? Ethiopia already cornered by regional countries and group. Yes, this is a comment which I think we should consider. Can we say that Ethiopian PM miscalculated? And were we expecting this type of response from Somalia? Okay, I'll start after this response to the comment. I think, by the way, I was not expecting such a strong response from Somalia. And Somalia is showing its intent, its determination, its resolve that no matter what happens, it won't let Ethiopia set foot in Somaliland. I was not expecting this type of strong response from Somalia. Why did Abiy then make a move if he knew that Somalia was going to respond very strongly? Maybe I think Abiy was not expecting such a strong, forceful response from Somalia. That's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. But what has happened in the last 5 to 6 days indicates that things are getting out of control to some extent. Now, let me start. Let me start the first news story. I'll cover this question in this first news story, and that is about Egypt. We know that when the deal was signed, MOU, not deal, between Ethiopia and Somaliland, after that, Hassan Sheikh contacted some likely allies. He contacted Al Sisi on phone. He contacted Erdogan on phone. And after that, Al Sisi issued a statement. Egypt backed Somalia. Egypt embarrassed Ethiopia to some extent by saying that African Union's charter should be respected. That is the founding principle of African Union, that countries' borders will be respected. And I think Ethiopia is the seat of African Union headquarters. That is why. But that telephonic conversation was not enough. Yesterday, Al-Sisi sent a top delegation to Mogadishu. Thank you, music. The delegation met top Somali government officials in Mogadishu. And the delegation invited Hassan Sheikh to visit Egypt. Sisi has invited Abiy now. Sisi is a disgruntled Ethiopian rival. Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt talks over GERD collapsed just a few days ago. Fourth round of talks in Addis Ababa collapsed. Egypt trying to force Ethiopia to sign a legally binding agreement about GERD. Ethiopia not agree. Egypt has tried all options, diplomatic options, pressure through Arab League, through OIC, through African countries, through Ethiopian neighbors, through backing some groups in Ethiopia. Nothing is working. Egypt disgruntled. Egypt wanted a military base in Ethiopian neighborhood. It wanted a base in Djibouti or in Somalia. So far, it does not have a base. Ethiopia kept Egypt away from its borders. But now, Egypt knows it has a real chance. It obviously would like to take revenge. It would like this a conflict between Somalia and Ethiopia continue. That is why Egypt is inviting Hassan Sheikh, showing unequivocal support for Hassan Sheikh. Egypt will fuel this conflict, you'll see. Hassan Sheikh is in need of allies, defense allies, military allies. And maybe under pressure, Hassan Sheikh might tell Ethiopian troops to leave Somalia. Around 20,000 Ethiopian troops are there, excluding the troops which are part of the peacekeeping mission of African Union. Somalia might tell Ethiopian troops to leave the country if tensions rise more. Which country will replace Ethiopian troops in Somalia? Which country? I'm not talking about the troops which are part of African Union mission. Ethiopian troops, around 20,000, are deployed to Somalia under a bilateral agreement, you can say, bilateral understanding between Ethiopia and Somalia, Ethiopia regional states of Somalia. Maybe Hassan Sheikh in coming days will tell Ethiopia to leave Somalia. Who will replace Ethiopia? He needs allies. He needs strong allies who can stand with Somalia in this time of crisis. Egypt, more than willing. That is why Egypt has invited Hassan Sheikh. And Egypt, we know that is constructing a military base, air base in Somalia. Did a video a few days ago showing Egyptian contractors, military officers there in Somalia. Egypt could play the role of a spoiler out of its rivalry with Ethiopia. Secondly, Turkey. Turkey is not a spoiler in terms of its relation. It has a good relation with Ethiopia, but it is a close ally, defense ally of Somalia. It is a military base here, though it has investments in Ethiopia too. But as I said in a video 2 days ago, that Erdogan is known for taking very clear-cut, strong positions in regional conflicts. Erdogan won't stay silent. He might take sides. And if he took sides, I think he might start supporting Somalia. You see how big this mess is becoming. Eritrea, uninvited. Hassan Sheikh has arrived in Eritrea. Eritrean Ministry of Information issued a statement. It did not say that Eritrea had invited Hassan Sheikh. So whether it is upon the invitation of Isas Afwerki or not, Hassan Sheikh is in Eritrea. Eritrea is the first country being visited by Hassan Sheikh after the start of tension with Ethiopia. But a crucial time when Somalia is threatening Ethiopia, Eritrea is welcoming with open arms Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh. Eritrea definitely is going to be a key ally for Somalia. Egypt as well. Turkey, don't know. What about Djibouti? Djibouti issued a statement today. I'll come to it a little later. Abe Kareo, Sajid, if the international community recognizes Somaliland as an independent country, what will be the relationship of Somalia and Ethiopia? International community won't recognize Somaliland as a country. I think we have seen statements from EU, US, African Union, IGAD. No entity, no organization is showing any flexibility with recognition of Somaliland. Samuel Falek says this Sadi, this issue is not having port access. Rather, in return, Ethiopia accepting Somalia as a country. Yes, recognition is a big problem for Somalia because if Ethiopia recognizes Somaliland, other countries will follow as well. Alex Woke is talking about relocation of Afghan headquarters from Addis Ababa if Ethiopia recognizes Somaliland. That is why Ethiopia is silent. It has not confirmed that it would recognize Somaliland as a country. Mojo saying, can Ethiopia trade Ogaden to Somalia for Somaliland? Ethiopia is not making Somaliland part of Ethiopia. It is not annexing Somaliland. Samson Zirom joined to welcome Samson, a member. Samson says, Sajid, I agree, Egypt will fuel the conflict. This is big opportunity for Egypt to weaken Ethiopia. But what might Eritrea do? In general, Eritrea does not seem it want any conflict in the Horn. Well, I think ideally, if Eritrea was neutral, it shouldn't have invited or welcomed Hassan Sheikh at this point of time. This visit is indicative of Eritrean position. Eritrea has been trying to isolate Abiy after Abiy took position about the Red Sea. And by the way, if Somalia and Ethiopia are involved in a war, obviously Eritrea will gain. Eritrea will benefit. Regionally, Eritrea already is in a strong position. Though it's a small country, but keeping in view the internal stability, it is in a strong position. And if its neighbors are weak, if there is infighting in neighborhood, it empowers Eritrea. It is a good military, strong military. It intervenes. You see what is happening in Sudan. Eritrea is training forces there. It has been reported this week that two groups based in Darfur, one is Mini Minawi's group, I think, and another one. Two Darfur based groups have sent their fighters to Eritrea, who are being trained in Eritrea. Eritrea has had links with groups in Darfur for years. And we heard a few days ago that Eritrea was training youths in Sala to the state which has border with Eritrea, Sudanese state. The conflict in Sudan has given an opportunity to Isaias Afwerki to be relevant, to be a player in Sudan. Any war between Ethiopia and Somalia will benefit Isaias Afwerki. Destabilized Horn of Africa leads to a stronger Isaias Afwerki. He intervenes in different ways, and he knows how to make the most of his military, of his intelligence, of his forces in neighboring countries. Baka Garbi's comment is important. He says, I think Hassan Sheikh's arrival to Eritrea is being seen as failed strategy on international community. You're saying the international community won't welcome this move. Well, next two stories about this comment. It's related to your comment. Yesterday, Hassan Sheikh hosted a dinner in the honor of members of parliament who uh, this week voted to pass a law to declare Ethiopia Somaliland MOU null and void. There he delivered a speech. He said there that if due to this new tension, we are forced to knock on those doors where we don't want to knock, but we're forced to do that, we will do that. We'll knock on those doors to defend ourselves, to fight. Though we don't want to knock on those doors, but we have been forced, so we don't have options. So we will resort to all the means and ways available. Basically, he was saying that we might have to contact those uh, who we don't align with regionally, internationally, locally, internally. But we will do that because we want to defend our country. We won't let Ethiopia set foot on Somali territory. So whether international community likes Hassan Sheikh visit of Eritrea or not, Hassan Sheikh wants strong allies on his side now. Eritrea training Somalia's military. Eritrea trained Somalia's military, air force, and navy. Egypt ready to welcome Hassan Sheikh. Maybe in changed circumstances, Hassan Sheikh might not like to forge strategic alliance with Egypt or Eritrea, but in the present circumstances, Hassan Sheikh wants those countries behind him, with him, which can fully support Somalia. So that is why his visit of Eritrea is not a surprise for me. Dahir Douale says any unrealistic ambition will see the true face of Somalia and Somalia, and this will be the end of this regime. Rashid says Somalia looking for now Fano, Ola, and TPLF. EB Lire says, Sajid, when are you going to make a video about the GDP of Eritrea, Djibouti, and Somalia to show how tiny they are all combined? Well, what about the GDP of Somaliland? But Somaliland is strategic, it has a coast. And you saw that Ethiopia had to sign an MOU with Somaliland. Ethiopia ready to give its profitable organization share to Somaliland. What about Eritrea, the small country with small GDP, which was a big player in the war in Tigray? Had there been no Eritrean intervention, maybe the result of the war would have been different. So don't just make conclusions on the basis of GDP. Beware says, Sajid, how will Ethiopia find friends as Somalia is going on a diplomatic tour? Yes. When Abiy a few weeks ago took a position about access to Red Sea, Isaias Afwerki isolated Abiy. through very effective diplomacy. He almost created an anti-Ethiopia regional alliance, and Ethiopia toned down its rhetoric a little. You saw that. Now, a new position taken by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. It's a public position. It's about MOU with Somaliland. Again, a diplomatic challenge for Ethiopia. This time, a bigger challenge because no country has publicly supported Ethiopian government's position so far. No country, no organization. Starting from IGAD, African Union, OIC, Arab League, Middle Eastern countries, European countries, African countries, Horn of Africa. None of these countries, organizations has supported Ethiopian position so far. So, yes, diplomatically, can Ethiopia find an ally, accept the UAE, accept the Somaliland, accept the rapid support forces of Sudan? These are the allies which Ethiopia has got. But these allies will stand with Ethiopia, I think. UAE will stand with Ethiopia. UAE will not just issue a statement. RSF will stand with Ethiopia as well, I think. If UAE is behind Ethiopia, RSF is there already. Somaliland with Ethiopia, military chief, Somaliland military chief was in Addis Ababa today. Question is, those who are issuing statements, will they support Somalia practically or not? Will they just issue statements? Whatever type of support Ethiopia has from its allies, it's practical support. Who will support Somalia practically, militarily, in terms of provision of arms, in terms of deployment of soldiers, etc., etc.? So, yes, Somalia is getting more allies, but we'll have to see how committed these allies are. Now, Djibouti, Comsa is mentioning Djibouti. Djibouti issued a statement today, at last. Though the MOU was signed around 6 days ago, but Djibouti kept quiet. Why? Djibouti is heading IGAD. IGAD's presidency is rotated, I think, among member countries. These days, Djibouti is the head, I think, if I'm not wrong. And Djibouti mediated between Somaliland and Somalia a few days ago when the two sides agreed on resumption of dialogue. And after the conclusion of talks in Djibouti between Somalia and Somaliland president flew to Addis Ababa where he signed an MOU with Ethiopia. Djibouti kept quiet. It did not say a word. Today, it issued a statement after Hassan Sheikh departed for Eritrea. And in the statement, Djibouti did not condemn the MOU between Somaliland and Ethiopia. It just said that territorial integrity and sovereignty of IGAD member countries must be respected. Obviously, Somalia is an IGAD member, Ethiopia as well. This is what Djibouti has said so far. But the defense minister of Somaliland resigned yesterday, Abdi Ghani. He's Somali Isa. And people say he's very close to Ismail Omar. Some say he is a cousin of Ismail Omar, Djibouti's president. Is Abdi Ghani Ismail Omar's cousin or his relative or his family? No. But reportedly, he's very close to Ismail. And Abdi Ghani met with Musibe Abdi, the president, and then he resigned. And after that, he leveled serious allegations against Ethiopia, saying, portraying Ethiopia as an enemy, that Musibe Abdi is selling our land to an enemy. Ethiopia already annexed Somali territories, and Somalis won't allow Ethiopia to set foot on Somali territory. He has resigned. And people say that Ismail Omar is behind the resignation of Abdi Khani, Somaliland's defense minister. And someone was mentioning Djibouti's small GDP. I think Djibouti is a major player in this conflict now. Djibouti shares border with Somaliland. Ethiopia is Djibouti's customer. Djibouti, Somalis live in Djibouti, in Somaliland, in Ethiopia. Tribal link there too. Djibouti has links in Mogadishu as well. Ismail Omar Hassan Sheikh on good terms. So Djibouti, no matter how small its GDP is a key player. But today's statement from Ismail Omar was very calculated, very restrained. Why? Maybe Djibouti does not want to be seen as an ally of Somalia. Maybe Djibouti still hopes that Ethiopia would return and it would continue using its ports. Djibouti does not want to lose Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a customer paying millions of US dollars to Djibouti on monthly basis. So far, a sort of balanced statement from Djibouti today. But gradually you'll see that Djibouti will take sides. Tisfa Hope says, will Pakistan strike India? MS Sajid. If you study Pakistan, India, history and current affairs, they've been intervening in each other countries, happening for decades. India intervened in East Pakistan, which turned into Bangladesh. Pakistan intervened as well. They have fought wars. Still, this mess ongoing. Eb Lire Sajid, what do you think about the role of Kenya in this saga? You know they have a dispute over border in the Indian Ocean. Can Ethiopia and Kenya join hands now? It's a very interesting perspective. I think Kenya has issued a statement so far, a balanced statement. Will Kenya take sides? Will it support Ethiopia or Somalia? Too early to say. Uh, But Kenya has not condemned Ethiopia, Somaliland MOU so far. Yes, Moni, you're right. This negotiation going on for some time. It's not something new. It's resumption of negotiations, I think, now between Somalia and Somaliland. Important question. What leverage does the failed state, Somalia, even have to consider it as a threat to Ethiopia? Don't underestimate Somalia, please. Ethiopia should not underestimate Somalia. If Somalia believes that no matter what happens, it should stop Ethiopia, then this threat from Somalia should not be taken lightly. Somalia has several cards to play, several cards. Ethiopian rivals in the region would ideally like Somalia to take on Ethiopia. We could see a bigger regional war. Don't just say it's between Somalia and Ethiopia. Other countries could be involved. And don't forget Somali population in Ethiopia. I talked to them, by the way. And it was, I wouldn't say it was disappointing, but I was surprised a little. I talked to so many Somalis in the past few days. They could support Somalia. I'm not saying all people in the Somali region would support Somalia against Ethiopia, but if today people of Somali region of Ethiopia see a chance that they can unite with Somaliland, Somalia, and there can be a greater Somalia, what will they do? Which side will they choose? Will they stay with Ethiopia or will they like greater Somalia? Obviously, a greater Somalia. Ethnic bond is very strong. Somali politics is clan based politics, tribal politics. That is what is happening in the Somali region of Ethiopia, in Somaliland, in Somalia. Clan based politics, tribal politics. And please don't call Somalis traitors, not the right word. Oromos of Ethiopia would like to join Oromos of Kenya too. The same could happen within Ethiopia as well. That Amharas of Amhara region, they want to join Amharas of Velaga, Amharas of PG, Matagal. They want a greater Amhara region. So don't call Somalis traitors. But ethnic bond is very strong among Somali groups. If a bigger a conflict erupts, a prolonged conflict erupts, Ethiopia could be destabilized. Somali region of Ethiopia could be destabilized. Because I have not seen any big celebrations in the Somali region of Ethiopia in support of this MOU. Have you seen a single rally, big rally in the Somali region of Ethiopia? There should have been rallies in support of MOU, big rallies in Jijiga, other parts of Somali region. Why no rallies? There are problems. There are elements which could oppose this MOU. They are not going to speak now, not in opposition because of government response, but there are disgruntled elements. That is why Ethiopia will have to be very careful that it should gain access to the sea in Somaliland, not at the cost of prolonged internal conflict in the Somali region of Ethiopia. Adam says, can Turkey pressure Ethiopia not to implement the MOU? Well, the way Abiy has publicized the deal, the MOU, calling it a historic achievement, can he withdraw now? Do you think that if he withdraws, it would lead to his political suicide? How will he survive? I mean, it would be difficult for him to survive. It will weaken him a lot. He'll press ahead. What he can do is that maybe he can slow down the implementation, but don't expect that overnight he'll withdraw and rescind the MOU. It won't happen, I think. "24 days left. Are you excited for the big day?" Eb Lire says. 24 days, just 5 days, and you saw what happened in the last 5 days. Entire region speaking, so many things happening on daily basis, resignations, visits, uh, meetings of military chiefs, international community speaking. Why? Because Hassan Sheikh knows that he does not have lots of time. If the deal is signed and Ethiopian military takes control of Lagaya, it would be difficult to dislodge ENDF from there. That is why you'll see a lot happen in the next 24 days. Mob motivation says, I doubt Hassan can do anything with his pathetic military. Hassan is not alone. Again, let me repeat, Hassan is not alone. Hassan could be used as a proxy by those who want to weaken Ethiopia. Come on, take this into account. And I said Somalia has some cards which it can play in Ethiopia. Don't underestimate Hassan. Don't just compare ENDF and Somali military. A says, Sajid, you have seen Ethiopia's capabilities in arresting entire ethnic groups. Let's not forget ONLF and Al Shabaab, Abdirahman. Yes, I did not want to say that. I did not want to say that Somalia would unleash Al Shabaab on Ethiopia, but if war starts, then anything can happen. Somalia has some cards which can play against Ethiopia. Just we should not only compare ENDF and Somalia's military, I think. Do you think UAE is behind Ethiopian army and they want to use against Houthis of Yemen? Well, that's another story. UAE is behind Ethiopian military for years, but to say that UAE wants Ethiopia to be used in Yemen, I don't think so because Ethiopian military already overstretched. Military stretched internally, now an external conflict as well. I don't think that Ethiopian military can be used against Yemen. Ethiopian soil can be used. Muni Muni says, trust me, Sajid, no country will set foot in Somalia. They even refuse to send peacekeepers. But they are training Somalia's military. They are, Egypt is training, Eritrea is training, Turkey is training. Dr. Abdi Jalil says, Sajid, if you speak more genuine like you are, some will label you that you are backing Somalia because you're Pakistani. Well, I keep my nationality, my religion aside when I make analysis, when I share news with you. Don't worry about criticism. Yamlak says, what does it mean for the region, the introduction of Ethiopian Navy? Well, I don't think that Ethiopian Navy could be a threat to regional stability, to regional peace. Uh, Main problem for Somalia is not Ethiopian Navy operating in the sea. Main problem is recognition of Somaliland. Main problem is Ethiopian military presence in Somaliland. Johnny B. Good has come up with another scenario saying, Sajid, Ethiopia will be divided between Eritrea and Somalia if war starts. Greater Eritrea is coming. You see, everyone wants something greater here. Greater Eritrea, greater Tigray, Oromoma, greater Amhara. Greater Somalia. Bachagarbi says, Sajid, why do you keep this issue between Ethiopia and Somalia? It is about Somaliland as well for 34 years. Yes, Somaliland is a player too, but mainly Somalia is not threatening Somaliland. Somalia is threatening Ethiopia. Somalia has not said a word about Musiba Abdi so far. Have you seen any statement from Somalia condemning Musiba Abdi? I have not seen a single one so far. So Somalia is making it Somalia versus Ethiopia, or Somalia versus Somaliland. Somaliland is obviously supporting Ethiopia. It is standing with Ethiopia. Yusuf says, Sajid, if you are from Pakistan, you should support Somalia. Why? Why should I support Somalia? I don't support anyone, by the way. If I am Muslim, should I support Muslims? Why should I support Muslims? Religion has nothing to do with journalism, with my profession, nationality as well. I should tell the truth. That is what my job is. Yusuf says, Somalia will recognize Balochistan if that's the case for a piece of land. Okay, let Somalia do what it wants to do. I am not against or pro Somalia. I have no business with backing or opposing Somalia. I am loyal with my viewers. I'm loyal to you. My responsibility is that I should share unbiased, impartial information with you, no matter from where you are, whether you are Somalis, Eritreans, Ethiopians, Sudanese. My job, my responsibility is to keep you updated by sharing unbiased, objective information with you, keeping my loyalties, my nationality, my religion aside. I should tell the truth. That is what I'm doing. 54 minutes have passed. I think we should end this live chat session, uh, which was full of some chit chat between Mooney Mooney, Alex Avoke, and others. Thank you for being part of this wonderful live chat. 2000 joined so far. I think we should end this live chat today. And tomorrow, again, we'll be back with another live chat session. Coming days, very crucial, viewers, for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. Hassan Sheikh's visits are very crucial. What will Hassan Sheikh do? What will Abi do? Let me welcome Ming Han. He says, hello, Sajid. I think Ming Han is not a new name for me. I saw him months ago. Are you a new viewer, Ming Han? Yeah, he's confirmed. I'm your oldest fan. Yes, I remember Ming Han. I remember your name. 2020. You're right. 3 years ago, I remember we talked. That is why I asked about for how long you have been. Yes, Karabakh War, Azerbaijan Armenia War. I remember back then you used to watch me. Thank you, Ming Han, for being back. Now, let me end this live chat session, viewers, with a warm welcome to Ming Han, watching since I started covering big wars. when I covered Azerbaijan-Armenia war. He used to watch me and contact me. Thank you for joining, viewers. See you tomorrow. Just a quick recap. Egypt inviting Hassan Sheikh for a visit. Egypt is seeing an opportunity to put pressure upon Ethiopia. Uh, Hassan Sheikh is in Eritrea, and last night Hassan Sheikh warned that no matter which doors Somalia will have to knock on, it will knock on these doors to defend its territory. It won't allow Ethiopia to set foot on Somalia's territory. Somalia is showing resolve, determination. It wants to stop Ethiopia. Today, Djibouti took a position, very calculated statement from Djibouti's government, no condemnation of Ethiopia's Somaliland. This is what has happened in the last 24 hours. I'm trying to keep you updated about this key development in the Horn of Africa. Please stay in touch with me. Several Somali viewers are contacting me, sharing with me the background of this conflict. They respond to my questions too. I respond to your calls as well. You should also provide a phone call participation. Who wants to be part of my Vision News on phone? If you're interested, you can contact me, then we can arrange that. Thank you for joining. See you tomorrow in the next live chat session. Stay blessed, viewers. Bye bye.